Well, today we got my 1985 F250 diesel, 6.9 liter, and it has a 4-speed T19, and the clutch finally went out. So we're gonna do the conversion to the ZF5 manual. That's out of a 95 F250 7.3. Bell housing and everything will bolt right up to 6.9 or 7.3. So today we're gonna do the swap and see how everything works out. And for the ZF5 you need a 12-inch clutch, and the T19 originally has a 11-inch, so that's the upgrade that you need to do for that. And we're gonna start taking that transmission out and see what else we need for that wasn't mentioned online. Well, we were pulling the T19 out, and the upper brackets that go here were a pain, so you have to use a wobble socket on an impact if you want it to come out even remotely easy, like this side, but this side's loose, so just move up. And the transmission is unbolted, so we're gonna slide it out, supporting the engine too. Also, another thing, the massive starter in this thing is a pain to get out. You have to use a long socket on the back side to get the back bolts out, because there are bolts back there and it's a pain. So you have to use your left hand to put the socket on the bolt and your right hand to hold your wrench to get that off. So that's going to be crazy to put back in, so we'll probably just put it on the transmission and then put it all up. As you see, we got the T19 transmission out. It weighs a ton, so you gotta watch out for that coming out. Right now I'm gonna see if the transmission mount off of this actually works on the ZF5. So I'm gonna pop this off and check it over there. And also the inspection plate from the T19, as I found out, actually will bolt right up to the ZF5, which is kind of interesting. So that's cool, you don't have to buy a new one. And we're gonna go ahead and put this thing back together. So as you see here, the T19 transmission mount actually bolted right up to the ZF5, so that's pretty interesting. Seems like a lot of it's bolting in. The only part that I'm gonna be worried about is the cross member going on the actual truck and how the bolt holes line up, and that's gonna be interesting. I hope it fits. Same with the shifter location. I might need to measure that real quick to see where the shifter actually sits, so I'll go check that out right now. Well, we got the clutch all in and pressure plate, everything's aligned, all torqued down. The flywheel was torqued to 45 to 50 foot-pounds, and the pressure plate was torqued to 15 to 20 foot-pounds on the look. When we took the fork out of the T19, it actually does not work on the ZF5, so that's another problem. So we're gonna have to buy a fork for a ZF. And the ZF5 actually uses Mercron 5 full synthetic transmission fluid and not gear oil. Alright guys, so my battery for my camera actually just came in, so a little more comfortable filming. But as you see right there is the ZF5 fork, and on the right we have the T19. The prongs on the T19 are a little smaller, so it won't fit over the input shaft on the ZF5. So you gotta go with the bigger one. O'Reilly actually had the ZF5 fork. It's like a Pioneer brand or something, but it works. And for some reason in the reviews of that it said it didn't work, but I gave it a shot anyways and it definitely works. So go to O'Reilly if you need it, and they'll have it. Here's the T19 right here. You can see it's a little bit smaller. I don't know if it's easy to tell on camera, but it's definitely smaller. I'm not sure about the size or the diameter of this hole. See if the yoke will slide in on this one. Will slide in on the ZF5. No clue. Something we'll figure out once I get to it. And so now we're gonna try to raise that beast of a ZF5 into this truck. And another concern of mine would be my speedo cable. The ZF's definitely different, so I might have to rock with GPS speedo. We'll see though. Transmission's under the truck, finally. It's very difficult considering the transmission sticks a couple feet off the ground with the jack and the truck doesn't. So if you have a mechanics pit, that'd definitely help, or definitely a few people to get this thing under here because it weighs a lot. But now we gotta lift it up and get all the bolts in, and hopefully everything lines up, and we're gonna see how the slave cylinder is gonna work and if we need to drill anything on the cross member. Another bit of advice, I saw a bunch of random discrepancies online, but it seems like ZF5 is definitely just going to use good old Mercon 5. I wouldn't necessarily get the low viscosity one, but I never heard anything against it, so you can do whatever you want. But seems like Mercon 5 is going to be the way to go for this thing. I heard gear oil is not that good for this transmission due to its tight tolerances, so I'd stick with the Mercon. Well, believe it or not, that video was actually about 3 months of time for a little 5-minute video, but yeah, it was horrible because that ZF, we put it in, turned out it was blown up, so I had to get it rebuilt and then do everything over again. And in that time I got kind of frustrated, so I skipped like a part. I did have to drill one hole in the frame for the cross member, but other than that, it was not that hard of a swap. I'll put the part numbers in the description as I said, but thank you guys for watching, it means a lot, and go ahead, subscribe, and now that this video is out of the way, I can actually start uploading more actually, because this took 3 months obviously of my storage on my computer and camera, and it was just sitting there, so I couldn't do anything with it. So thank you guys for watching.